Good evening, everyone. This is the weekly Tesla update video, and that's where I break down support and resistance for you guys and a couple of psychological things I'm looking at, as well as a little bit of the market itself. And let's get into it. So, looking at Tesla on the daily chart, and right now we are looking to fill this gap. You can see right here that gap down after earnings, and we are the 4.5% from away from filling that gap, and there's resistance there, as you can see. Right after we fill this gap, you can see all this wick here and this one here and here. It all acted as support, and back here acted as resistance. So right now we're under this 177, 178, give or take if you round up, area as resistance due to us being under it. And so the first thing I want to see the bulls do is to fill this gap. If the bulls cannot even fill this gap, then I would say it's a very, very weak bounce. And part of it is because you can see from this top of this move to the bottom of this move is 25%. And you can see this wick here is fake out. So this was like saying, all right, let's keep going, shorts. And then it was like, just kidding, and then we came back up. The bears was hoping to fill this gap and down here, which was a little bit unrealistic if you ask me. The size of the drop that we drop from here literally straight down to here, and it's already 25%, and we are asking for another like 5 to 6% drop would be a little bit much. So we were already pretty oversold based on over there. So essentially that's why I think we ended up bouncing so hard that these 2 days here. It was a 6.5% move on 2 days, and we are now testing this level of gap. So if we do break, if we do get to this gap, I would say after we finish closing the gap, we will likely pull back a little bit, let it consolidate, just like to cool off some indicators, to not cool off some overbought indicators, and then we will retest it again to break above it. If we do that, then I'm looking back at 186. That's the most key level of resistance out of all of them. You can see the amount of times we have bounced off of it, rejected from it many, many times. You can see right here, active support, 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 3 resistance right here, and another support, another resistance support here, and back here as well, acted as resistance, resistance, resistance. So it's going to be the key of all resistance before we go higher. That's what I'll be looking at. And now it's looking more like a equilibrium, if you ask me. Big move up, big move down, likely another move up. It's going to probably chop into equilibrium, which would look, then this top of this teal looking line is definitely going to act as a resistance for the top of equilibrium. And let's draw something, see if we can get something like this. So this one's going to be a visual guide for support as of now, due to there's only 2 touches. You can see, make it thicker. You can see we only have, you can do this or that. 1 touch here, 2 touch here, and that's it. So it's more of a visual guide. Let's leave this one. So this equilibrium is more for a visual guide. So when we have, the psychology of it is when we have a big move up and a big move down, the most likely scenario is a tightening range into the previous range. So very likely it'll just chop like that, and then it'll decide to which way it wants to break after it gets a little bit closer and a little bit tighter. So that would be longer term into, that would be into June-ish area, late May or June-ish. I wouldn't say, if we, chances of us like just rolling over and fill this gap is very unlikely, unless the market itself rolls over and tanks. Then it would drag Tesla down. But as of now, there's no signs of that at the moment. So this is the level I'm looking at, this 2 key levels. And let's get into a little bit of NASDAQ as to why, if NASDAQ decides to go down, which is QQQ, it would also drop and drag Tesla down. So the psychology of it is, if NASDAQ goes down 3%, Tesla could be relatively stronger than the tech, and maybe goes down like 1% instead of 3. But if which would have been which would have made Tesla green if, let's say, Nasdaq was up 2%, Tesla would have been up 5% instead of being down 1. So right now there's relatively strength in Tesla, but due to, you can see we bounced roughly 2% on Friday, and you can see Tesla's up 5.5. So there is definitely relative strength compared to the market for Tesla. But if the market stops dropping a lot, Tesla would still be dropping less, but it'll still drop. So right now, let's take a look at Nasdaq. We are right at key resistance here. You can see how many times we have rejected from this key resistance zone. And here, twice here, 3 times here. And I want to say this is a rejection yet. Friday, we ran up really straight up to it and closed a little bit lower. So if we do get a red candle that's Monday, Tuesday, then I'm going to say it's another rejection. As of now, we just ran up so much. It's literally the chart straight up, and then we had a little bit of a pullback into the close. If we had more time, who knows? This would have just been kept going back up after its consolidation, just like this little area, right? And still a little sick, but almost getting better. This flu's been bad, but hopefully by next week I will be perfectly fine again, get my voice back. But yeah, so I wouldn't say this one's a rejection yet, but we did close at key resistance level, so I'm going to be a little bit wary. So Monday is going to be really key, as well as we're going to have CPI data on Wednesday, 5:30 a.m. PST, as well as the PPI data in Thursday, 5:30 a.m. PST. So there's going to be a lot of data. Those two are 3-star volatilities, so those are going to be big. Apparently, it's coming in 4.9% estimates, so which is not that much lower than last estimates, which was around like 5%. So that's not really much of a drop for inflation. But so if it becomes a little bit hotter, market might be a little bit jittery. So we'll see about that. And see, that's all I got for you guys on Tesla. This support and resistance would be my guide, as well as these 2 levels and that scat fill. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow, and that's what's Monday. I'll catch you guys then. Have a great weekend.